Welcome to Life Unpacked with Mel Ryan and our new series, Life Bombs. This is a series about the moments that change everything, the moments that shatter the life we thought we were living and force us to see ourselves differently. Across 9 real stories, we unpack the truth behind grief, abuse, addiction, affairs, miscarriage, loss, love and joy, and everything in between. These conversations are honest, raw, and unedited, because life is unedited. Each episode invites you to look at your own story with more compassion and less judgment, to notice the patterns that you've been repeating, to understand what you've been working on your whole life, and to finally say, I've got me. If you're ready to hear real stories, to grow with others, and to see yourself more clearly than ever before, this series is for you. This is Life Bombs. This is Life Unpacked with Mel Ryan. Welcome back to my podcast, Life Unpacked with Mel Ryan, the Life Bomb series. This podcast is one of the most layered, honest, and expansive stories I've ever had the privilege of holding. Jen's story doesn't sit neatly in one box, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. When you truly are trusted by someone to unpack their story, not just one chapter, not just one moment, what unfolds is their whole life, real, complex, messy, courageous, and human. In this episode, Jen shares her lived experience of growing up in a drug-addicted family, navigating sexual abuse, postnatal depression, parenting, a strained marriage, having an affair, as well as walking through a cancer journey. These aren't topics we often allow to exist in the same conversation, but life doesn't happen in chapters. It happens all at once. And when we try to separate people into good or bad, right or wrong, we miss the truth of how people actually survive. Before we begin, I want to offer a few important things. This episode will likely create an emotional response in you. That response belongs to you. It's information about your own story, your own experience, or it may still need unpacking for you. There's no judgment in this space or in any of these podcasts, especially for anyone who wants to share their story with me. There is a phrase I use over and over again, the ladder sideways. I often speak about that concept, and what it means is we don't climb above each other, we don't compare pain, we don't rank experiences. There's no higher or lower story here. We stand beside each other sideways. Every experience simply is, and it has something to teach us. Jen's story isn't here to shock, justify, or explain herself. It's here because it's real, and because real stories, when unpacked with honesty and compassion, give us permission to understand ourselves more deeply. Please listen with an open heart, honor your reactions, honor Jen's story, and remember, this is not about judging how someone else lived their life. It's about understanding how we do life. This is Jen's story. This episode includes discussion of drug-affected family dynamics, sexual abuse, postnatal depression, infidelity, illness, and cancer. Please support yourself while listening. Emotional reactions are expected and welcome. Welcome to Life Unpacked with Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Today,
Excited to be
I'm
here.
so excited. Today we have the beautiful Jen, and I have invited her to do a podcast with us today because you have a pretty powerful story that you are very bravely willing to share with the world, and I'm in awe of you, coming to do that with you. Your whole story, as everyone's whole story, is really important. In the beginning for all of us, so many people say, well, my story's not that exciting. Like, I really wouldn't have stuff to say. For me, it's really important because all of us do. Like, our stories are incredible because they reflect really what our soul is working on. And we have worked together for a while.
Yes.
And I think that in unpacking it, we get to where we get to in life. When it makes sense, we are able to hold a different compassion for ourselves and then see our life from really a curious point rather than a self-judgment point.
Yeah.
In lots of ways.
100%. If I hadn't have been seeing you and working on things, there's no way that I would be able to, I wouldn't have the skill set to manage and understand things that have happened and to work through them.
Yeah, or even get to a point that you feel that you can like yourself or want more for you or support yourself. Yeah, it's a shift, isn't it? Because
Massive.
I think that for a lot of us, before we start trying to understand us, we spend a lot of time hating ourselves. And it's so much easier to hate ourselves than it is to be able to put the pieces back together in a way that we do. We can see ourselves for really what our soul is working on and love ourselves. So I think that's a really beautiful message that we're going to leave with people today in lots of ways. So, gosh, where do we start? Where do you want to start? It's your beautiful story. It's like it goes back a long way.
It does. I guess I was born in 1974. I was first born, and my dad got a girl and wasn't overly thrilled with it. I'd never really, growing up, had a great relationship with him. He was very, very undiagnosed on the spectrum, very distant, never said, I love you, kiss on the forehead, good night, dismissed a lot. And then I had my mum, on the other hand, who worked full-time nursing. So she was the main breadwinner.
Yes, we're a bit more absent.
She was yes, absolutely. So was at home with someone who wasn't very loving at all. And then the person who I wanted to be loving wasn't home. But when she was home, she was exhausted. So it was a bit tricky.
But these are facts. And this is the whole beautiful thing that's important for all of us to pull our life apart to really get the picture that we understand. You know, and I was speaking to someone today, of course I sidetrack, I see the podcast. But even in that, it was really difficult. She's like, I want to tell you this, but I really don't want to tell you this because it means I'm going to paint my mum in a light that I don't want to paint my mum in a light. Because I really genuinely, love her. And I feel I have so much guilt saying something about her. And so what happens is when we unpack things, we tend to dismiss how we felt all the time because we don't want to upset the other person or paint them in a bad light. And that's a really beautiful thing that we learn very quickly in this space, in this room. And when we unpack things is we have to step out of the emotional space to get the facts.
Yeah.
Before we can revisit that emotional space as to how you possibly really would have felt.
Yeah.
Because we've dismissed the emotion because it sometimes is too much or sometimes we don't want to upset another person.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really important bit to add in.
I think our parents do the best they can with what they have, what they know, and it depends on what their upbringing's been like.
When you come and be a parent, you bring your story with you.
Yeah.
You can't be a parent without your story. No. You will have, your suitcase full of trauma that you haven't dealt with or unpacked, and the older you are, the worse that is. Mm-hmm. And that's absolutely your insecurities, you're not feeling good enough, you're needing to be in the ladder, you're needing to have a relationship that you then abandon yourself in it, all is going to impact.
Yeah.
And so your mum, what job did your mum do? She was a nurse.
Yeah. So shift work.
Yeah. So when we pull apart even nursing is that in all the other stuff we've done is that, I need to love and nurture. And yet all that her ability to love and nurture is going to everybody else. By the time she gets home, the people she probably wanted to love and nurture, she had no space left to do that. And then is probably not getting, you can just, you see the picture.
Yeah.
And that's not an excuse. It's painting a bigger picture. It's painting not just your picture, but then her picture. Not to say why she didn't do it and so you should just suck it up ever. It's to go, it was a consistent inability to be able to nurture that space. Yeah. For you to go, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's a lot. It wasn't one off. It was a consistent inability. And for Dad being autistic and also not even just that, but the traits for him in not knowing how to find connection or not. He's also probably from the 1970s generation where when you have kids, the mum looks after them. He would not know again how to step into that space to love and nurture and look after you. So again, that you're kind of all by yourself. So when we're putting this back to facts, it's like that was there. There's two absent parents and you don't know if anyone loves you.
Yeah. Trying to please all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where we get that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And then you bring it into adulthood and I've noticed that if someone's upset or cranky, I often think it's something I've done. Instead of it not being about me, I automatically just go, oh God, what have I done? What have I said? What haven't I done?
Yeah. As when we're little too, we learn to control the space. So for you, people pleasing, it's like you would have got praise if you're a good girl. Because it's a really interesting situation to be in.
Well, schools are like that too.
Yeah. So you just get rewarded for conforming or good behavior, which means we're dismissing ourselves. And then that continues on and on. That's how and then, of course, because we're used to the good girl, because we're so good at people pleasing, when someone's mad, because we've consciously manipulated the space to be liked, when someone's mad at us, we absolutely think it's about us.
Yeah. Yep.
And what have I done wrong and how do I fix it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. How do I fix it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Instead of going, hey, they're allowed to be mad.
Yeah.
So tell me more about when you were little. You have a brother?
I have a brother, yes. So he was born 2 years later. I was breech, so I had my bum come out first. But my brother was 2 years after me. And he has pretty much been, I think he had a lot of the attention from when he was born. And I just think he certainly wasn't more loved, but he was more seen than I was.
Yeah.
I kind of went even more
invisible.
Yeah.
And so he was the boy that everyone kind of wanted in the family. And so it's like, wow, we've got the boys. We still love you, but we've got the boy.
Yeah. And I mean, that happens with when you have second children.
It's interesting we make excuses. Me too, because I did it too.
And I was like, oh,
you're like, where are you doing? So when we deal in facts, you became invisible.
Yeah.
And that's your life review when we do it.
Yeah.
It's like from around that age, I became invisible and that I wasn't special to anyone.
Yeah. And then he was a difficult child growing up. He, again, probably not diagnosed on the autism spectrum. He would get in trouble all the time. He'd be doing something and he'd do it wrong, or he'd deliberately do something. People on the autism spectrum do that, but he wouldn't understand what he was doing a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, he wasn't supported in what he needed, so then it escalated into he needing more attention.
Yeah, and by the age of 10, well, my mum and dad split up. My mum moved us kids from New South Wales to Victoria, and
that's big.
Yeah, and I was 13, I think. So my brother was
like year 7.
Yes, yeah, I just finished year 7. And we moved to Victoria, so he would have been 11. He immediately pretty much turned to drugs. So he was sniffing cans to start with, and then marijuana, speed, heroin.
Yeah, anything he can pretty much get his hands on.
Methamphetamine. So now, because of it, he still lives with my mum. So he hasn't really stopped living with my mum, which again, he's the codependent.
Yeah, they created a relationship where it's a circle.
Yes.
Like a circle. Yeah.
And
to support someone who doesn't support themselves.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It is, because you watch them and you think you can see what they could be doing, and you can see that for them, but they can't see it for themselves. And it is hard.
Yeah.
And it's the same with my mum. I can see what she could do differently to help, which would help him to be more independent, and she would have a bit more freedom, because he's not nice. He's not nice to her.
Yes.
So it's a very toxic
space. So it's really hard to then be, hi, everyone, let me pop in and say hello, because it's really draining.
Mm-hmm. Very draining.
So in that way, for you, even when we go back to when you're little, there's a real separation from you and feeling important, feeling needed, I wrote here, like invisible and not special. These are I write stuff as we talk, because we come back to revisit it, and it just really helps us to see it stronger and stronger in lots of ways. So invisible and not special. So then you're, even in this relationship in your later years, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, to your mum and your brother.
Changed. Yeah.
And it's like that, because they have like a little connection, you're on the outer circle of that.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely on the outer circle of it, but I don't envy the connection.
Well, you gave up a long time trying to get into that inner circle. Would have been in your teenage years times where it was that trying to get your mum's attention.
There was a lot of excuses made. So when he, steal things to sell them, my things or her things, and then she'd go and have to buy them back from the cash converters or the pawnbroker because he'd sold them for drug money.
Yeah, totally.
And there was always excuses.
When did you move out?
I was 17 when I moved out of home, moved in with a girlfriend, which was the best thing I ever could have done. And I probably lived with her for about 6 months, and then I got my own little unit.
Oh.
I stayed there, and then I met my husband, now ex-husband, and we ended up moving in together about a year later.
Yeah, to met you. You were living with your girlfriend and then by yourself. Was that probably for you one of the best times in your life?
Yeah. It was very freeing to be away from all the, the police knocking on the door and just a toxic sort of
space that you're in. What did you do then?
When
work?
I was working at Woolies or Safeway back then, and then I went to uni. So I went to Churchill, which was in the Latrobe Valley. I lived there during the week and came home on the weekends. And
what were you studying?
Teaching, actually.
So throughout this space, it's like when you were growing up in your home, if you picked a feeling, so we've talked about invisible and not special or that kind of stuff, but if we have our takeaway, is what for you, like explain what would that be for you? Like even growing up.
What would be my takeaway?
Yeah, it's like we've said invisible and not special, but it's more not knowing where I fit and not knowing where I belong.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I belonged anyway. Didn't fit in anywhere, not at school. I fitted in at work. I fitted in at uni. But prior to that,
the invisible, not special, but it's not belonging either.
No, that's right.
It's almost like not something's wrong with you, and I'm not actually like you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a word to describe.
It's like I don't think people will like me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think people will like me. So, of course, when we look at that, what kind of behavior would come from that?
Well, it's very, I suppose, it's negative, but it's withdrawing and
both. It's like, if we don't feel comfortable in the space, we're going to be invisible. So if you feel invisible, you're going to be invisible. And then if we don't think people will like me, if we're in a little spot where we want people to like us, or we're going to people please make sure they like us, which is then leads to the question of going, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Because I know I've done everything right to make you like me. So I don't understand why you're mad right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it would be that circle.
Yeah.
So you said you met your husband. So this is the question I ask when people meet their partner. What did you like? There's a feeling when you meet your partner for the very first time and it gives you a spark or something. It gives you a feeling of being safe or being connected or being looked after or being seen or being heard or being listened to or and it could be all of them, but be one.
Who's probably a really kind, caring person. He just had a really kind, caring sense about him. Like this is going to sound ridiculous, but I could see him being a great dad.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that, I always wanted was someone who was going to be a great father.
Yeah, it's like, it is true. It's because we see it and we don't consciously see it, but it's the feelings that we're getting in that moment.
Yeah.
Almost like a present dad.
Yeah. I certainly didn't marry my father, which, some women do. I probably married the complete opposite. Yeah.
So you looked at him from more kind, caring, like his traits and his attributes, and he's going to be, well, it's kind of safe, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like safe / looked after. Ironically, almost like a father figure,
Yeah.
just not your dad.
Yes. Yes.
But it's that he's going to be a good dad. So that's interesting because for you, you had that absence of that real safe male. And
Yeah.
so here comes someone that comes in with that kind, caring, masculine gentleness, I'd say.
And I think he kind of like sold me.
Yeah, but if we go back to the word invisible, you weren't invisible to him.
No, I wasn't.
When we come back, we had invisible and special.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that you felt seen and a little bit special.
Yeah. Well, because the other thing is too, having that wanting people to like me and not having that. So he liked me.
And he really liked you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was probably the first time that ever really happened. So I was like, excellent. This is great.
Yeah.
I didn't marry him because
he swept you off your feet.
No,
Yeah.
no. I married him because
that's what was presented.
Yeah, I can see it now. I certainly couldn't see it then.
Yeah.
That he was there. He kind of saved me a little bit. Yeah. I wasn't on my own.
Yeah.
I wasn't alone anymore.
Yeah. Because we go back to when you were little and even though you've got a mum and a dad and a brother, you felt totally alone in your family.
Yep.
That's the other word.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's abandoned alone. Which is like
now I've got this guy who is amazing and I look like, don't get me wrong, I adore the man. I think he's amazing. But it was not for the right reasons.
Yeah, you married him to fill the holes in you instead of you knowing that they were always going to be your holes to fill, to make you feel important to you and seen by you and listened to by you and special and not abandoning you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we had these big holes that we found someone that we thought was just going to make that better.
Yeah.
Which is how it magnets their like relationships.
Yeah.
Is how
I wouldn't have the most amazing kids if that happened.
And this is the, beautiful reflection because and this is why I ask people, it's like, what was the first feeling you had when you were with them? Because when we see that unravels in years to come, we'll talk about that in a sec, the feeling that we were getting,
yes,
and in fact, in the relationship instead, we will feel kind of overparented and smothered and not looked after properly and not seen properly. And it's like the opposite of all, not special, not abandoning being part of a team, all that kind of stuff.
And there's also another layer to it as well. When I was sexually assaulted when I was a teenager by my uncle, who I looked up to and loved because of the way I felt he was with his family. I was shattered.
Well, you thought you were special, not you safe and special and looked after and seen and cared for and noticed and someone that's going to want to look after you. And, so it's when you're noticed, you didn't realize it was in a sexual way. You just thought it was in a way that someone was like, I see you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I look at when I fell in love with my husband, when I fell in love with him, it was, again, just,
wow, it's safe. It's like I feel safe enough that I don't feel, what's the word? It's like dad safe. It's like father figure safe rather than sexy safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like protected. Someone's going to actually father figure protect me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's what you needed. It's like the only way that you could move forward in life. Otherwise, because now you want to be invisible, and it's worse because you not just want to be invisible, you're actually hiding away from anyone that was going to give you attention. So attention made you almost have a panic attack. So you need to cut that shit out so you get married.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the feeling? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it does. This is why we look at our stories in this way, because it's like you would have no choice. Energetically, when this comes along, of course, this is when people talk about I found my soulmate in that energy space. We do, because it's what your soul needs at the exact time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean those soulmates don't exist when it falls apart. It just means that, I do have opinions on that, but it just means that connection was so powerful. And as you said, I saved you from a path and you'd seen your brother already go down a path of self-destruction. I know how to support myself in a world where, I've come from an abuse background and all this. Did you finish uni?
No.
Because you got married?
No, I did 3 years, 2 years, I can't remember now. And took a year off and never went back. No.
Why do you think that you...
Because I got a bit of a life. I found I had one really good girlfriend, and we used to hang out together, and I was working and earning money and,
Shift.
yeah.
And what you needed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, there's no way I would have been teaching now. I know. Yes. So, what was the question?
It was just next.
Oh, yeah, next. That's right.
Next.
Yeah. So, yeah, you tick all the boxes. You get married, then you have kids, and you buy a house.
Yeah.
And then you have more kids. And then you go back to work, and that's how it kind of is. And, that's just what you do. Like, I don't know.
Did you feel...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I did. That's just how I knew how I was, not that I was brought up like that, but that's what I've seen everybody do.
Yeah.
Get married, have kids, and that's it. Not a lot of women have careers or had careers. It's changing a lot, in the last, 30, 40 years, I suppose. But
yeah, it wasn't something that you were aspiring to. It was something that was happening around you as you got older.
Yeah. So, it was kind of just what I did.
Emotionally, how were you at that time?
After I was married, I was happy. I was actually happy. I was happy, and I was actually happy to have kids. I was happy to buy a house and, and all that.
Is that because if we go back to in your bubble, you have everything that you needed at the moment? It was that feeling important, feeling seen, there's a purpose for you.
Yep.
Made a little unit, it all works together.
Yep. So I had my son, and then we bought our house, and then we had twins. So they, oh my God, that was interesting.
Busy. Did you have much support when you had the kids?
My husband took time off. He was amazing.
Yeah.
But no, not from anyone else. I had one family make food for us, which was great. But in terms of
family support,
no,
didn't exist.
So pretty much on our own. And when my husband went back to work, I just fell in a heap. I didn't know what I was doing, how to do it. I didn't feel confident.
Yeah.
Even when he was home, I never felt confident as a parent. Never felt confident knowing that I was doing the right thing. And, I think I had postnatal depression, and it, just that whole thing of not feeling good enough, that was sort of weird. I don't think it ever left, but certain stages it rears its.
Well, especially when you bring kids in and you've come from a background where you didn't have the role model even in your family that you saw how people looked after or loved or nurtured kids, or it was more a dutiful rather than let's have fun together. And so then your brother comes along and that divided you rather than brought you all together kind of as a family.
Yeah.
And so the confidence in the postnatal and not feeling good enough, I mean, when we backtrack that to a base, you'd be like, it wasn't having kids didn't feel like a safe place.
Yeah.
It felt more like here's more things I can get wrong, or more things that I might, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then it's like, who's going to tell me? But I don't have anyone that's going to tell me. And then even if someone did, I'm just going to look at myself and go, well, I'm doing it wrong.
Which is, your mother's groups. And
mother's groups advertising at the same time. I'm going to wear my not good enough shirt today. And then one comment can actually just put us in the hole.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to get out of. Because as a mum, we all think we're not doing it good enough anyway. Yeah. So one of the, why do you do it this way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that real ladder of comparing. Yeah. And when we get through that, if we didn't feel good enough, we can be brutally, broken after an experience of motherhood.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that when I met my husband was his family. He had an amazing family. So he's close with his sister and his brother and the step family, and there was just so much love.
He had the Disney Channel family.
Yeah, which I've never seen in a family, or I have with my friends, but this was just, and I thought, I'm part of this. I could be part of this. So it was, I loved that because I belonged somewhere, I suppose, and they loved me.
Yeah, and you really feel it. So then any thoughts we have of things not being right or uncomfortable or anything, we just push away.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, it's that people pleasing and that I have to belong here.
Yeah.
Because it is safe and it's everything I ever wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
And then that's kind of all we see. Even interestingly, in talking to you about this, we're not often talking about emotions. We're talking about events. And so we have to pull back to go, how do you actually feel? Which is how we do, how we review our life. But how we feel is the key to how we get stuck. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't know how I felt, or even bringing up I didn't feel good enough. You're like, yeah, but you've got the picture of what happiness should be. And you're like, well, I do. But I also don't feel confident. I feel depressed because I don't know how to get confident. And I should, but I don't. And so now that not good enough is going to sit with me all day long.
Yeah. Because I had the perfect husband.
Yeah.
Perfect kids.
Yeah.
Perfect family.
Yeah.
And
perfect extended family.
Yeah.
You're meant to have everything. Then even, the feeling of guilt introduced into that space because, and I've spoken to a lot of women about that, and it's that, but I have to feel this way because I have everything that I wanted, to the point that I've even manifested this. I did my manifestation list and it is exactly this.
Yes.
Now I have guilt in being depressed or disconnected or not feeling good enough, that I don't know how to bring it back.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the hole even more, but I can't tell anyone. I have to pretend I'm okay.
Yep. Yep. And then you're living a lie.
Oh, and then we just dismiss ourselves more, and then we're mad at ourselves because why do we feel so shit when we shouldn't?
And then we get sick. And
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's wrong with me? And that's what people coming, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. And it's like, wow, you feeling, that reflection of another family can only bring up the gap of you actually not feeling connected, and the times that you weren't taken care of properly in your family, of not being supported through situations that you went through, all of that comes with it. And again, one of the most important things we talk about, we don't allow ourselves to grieve any of that.
No.
We just should be better. And because we don't grieve, we then ignore how we feel, and then we just kind of shove it down, and then we move to the next bit and the next bit.
Yeah.
So I think postnatally, I met grief and trauma sometimes meeting us, wanting to be seen and heard and tucked in and nurtured, because all of a sudden we're nurturing these little babies, but no one's nurturing us.
Yeah.
And no one has nurtured us. And it's that gap that makes us fall apart.
Yeah. Yep. I can see that.
Yeah. So it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it's so, it happens to so many women.
Absolutely. But then when you unpack anyone's story that has been in this situation, I guarantee that you're going to find that there's an abandonment in being nurtured.
Yeah.
So when we start nurturing, that is a real, what do we do with that?
Yeah.
And it, I often find too, it's like what we give, what we didn't get.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And so when we start giving what we didn't get, it highlights even more what we didn't get. And so for you, it would come back to well, what's wrong with me then? Why did I not get that? Why was that not available? Why am I not important? Why was I not special? Why did no one care about me? And when someone did, it was in an abusive way rather than a making sure that I was okay way.
Yeah.
And so that meets you in motherhood.
Yeah.
Because we haven't unpacked anyone. And it doesn't meet you nicely.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And then we end up on antidepressants and we think something's wrong with us because we're not coping.
Yeah. And then they send us to a psychologist to talk all about it. And it doesn't really
come out.
No.
Because we don't understand why we're stuck.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's like I didn't want to pick my child up today because I didn't know how to hug it because I just couldn't connect in that moment. Like you can just see it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm frozen in knowing how to do this.
You know what, though? I think I could always do that to my kids. Always hug my kids. I could always show love to my kids. Always.
Yeah, but the more you did, the more broken you felt.
Yeah. That's so it's
really different. Yeah.
To yourself.
Yes, totally. Yeah. So the more you're doing that, the more you realize that you can't do it to you.
Yeah.
And you can't love you and you can't tuck you in and you can't look after you and you don't want to and it feels weird. And it's true, we treat ourselves how other people treated us.
Yeah.
And yet we love our kids how we wanted to be loved.
Yeah.
God, there's a line, isn't there?
Yeah. But then that's a double-edged sword too, because you don't want to give them too much that they are then the opposite. They pull away and
totally helicoptered and smothered my children because of over egging.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you had a egg hard on and your mum, you went to your mum and dad and you said, hey, I've got 12 spots to get love. Can you please give me love? And they might give you one egg each. Our quest is to then go fill up the other 10, 11 spots for us.
Yeah.
And yet when you've come from the fact that you had to go hunting to get those spots filled all your life and you have kids and they go, hey, mum, I've got 12 spots. You go, here's 36 eggs.
Yeah.
Need some. And that's, for me too, that's something I really had to learn. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm over egging them. Like I'm giving them no ability to be able to go and find their way in the world to find out how they're going to fit to be loved. It was a big lesson. That little analogy is something that helps me a lot. When I'm like, oh yeah, I just gave them 36 eggs for a 12-egg carton. They can't actually even take that. It's not going to do anything for them.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe they can hand them on to someone else.
It's still there. It's got to go around. Yeah, that's funny.
The next 30 seconds could change your life. If you want to take the next step to work with Mel, go to Mel Ryan 100% you on your Facebook or Instagram and direct message her the word work. From here, Mel's team will help direct you to what you need. You may want to explore at your own pace, or you might be ready to dive right in. No matter where you're at, Mel has the tools and programs in place to help you, support you. Mel Ryan, 100% you.
So next, what happened next?
I went back to work. Life went on, day in, day out. Same.
How did you feel?
Same. I felt very disconnected. I was not happy. I didn't realise it at the time.
You just ticking the boxes.
Yeah, and I was not happy in my marriage. Married for 25 years. And towards the end, I was thinking, how do I get out of my marriage without losing everybody that were my people? I didn't have anybody. I had friends.
Yeah. So you have that Christmas picture of the family that you just described before.
Yeah, and who loved me and wanted me to be part of the family. And I thought, how can I walk away from that? Like, what am I going to walk away? I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to have no one. Yeah. And I stayed. And I stayed until someone else came on the scene and who I'd known for a long time. And I had an affair.
Did you think at any stage, like, this is a thing that's really interesting because, and I so love that you're sharing this with us today because it's the taboo, it's the thing that you're not allowed to do. And so if someone was cheated on, we all put our energy there because that's what the rules say on earth to do. And so when someone has the affair, it's, and this is why I really want to explore that. Like, you didn't wake up and go, I think I might go and meet someone today and
No.
go. And especially with your background, I'm assuming, and so correct me if I'm wrong, and I do know some of this story. So if I'm leading you, it's to help people understand what I understand from you in that. But it's like a slow burn.
Yeah.
A boundary moving without you realize the boundary's moving and you don't, it's almost like you're watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Yeah. Yep. That's a very good analogy.
Well, it's happening, but you can't stop it.
Yeah. And you're enjoying the train ride.
Yeah.
But you know that it's going to
be a train wreck.
It's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're hoping it's not going to be a train wreck. You're really hoping it's not going to be, but like you say, the earth rules. It's determined that it is a train wreck.
Yes. That's it, because we don't come out of that with everyone going, I mean, that's okay. I totally get how that happened.
No. And I think something that's important is to know that, well, not in every single case, but I know that in my case, and I'm assuming other people's cases, is that you don't have an affair. It's not to hurt someone. You don't go, like, I never went out of my way to hurt my husband or my kids.
Well, in fact, that's why you don't leave.
That's right. Exactly. I stayed because I didn't want anybody to be hurt. And when it does happen and you're caught, it's horrible. It's like the end of the world. Your world has just imploded.
Yeah. And
the fallout is massive, with friends and family. We lost.
Well, it's the one that every single person, it's the situation that every single person on the planet has an opinion on, whether it be from an experience they had when they were little, whether it be from people cheating on them in their teenage years, whether it be from watching movies or TV or other people or other friends or whatever. And we have moral stances and all that kind of stuff. But
I get that. I understand that. I do understand how people feel like that. They all have opinions and judgments and that. But I would love to see, I just love it for someone to just go, yeah, I understand why you did it. I don't agree with it. I understand why you did it. Maybe we could have done it a different way, and maybe that will help someone else to do it a different way, not feel like they can't leave.
The interesting thing is it's like that being the paralyzed to not being able to leave. If we go back to the words that we were talking about before, it's like that's not a choice. It's really being able to see our story to how we get to where we get to. It's like that I don't feel safe enough to be by myself, which is
then,
like
not only like as a person, like just on my own, I couldn't afford to rent. Like, how was I going to, I don't earn much. I can't afford to rent. I don't want to leave my kids and I don't want to take my kids off their dad. Like the reality of moving from separating, it was unfathomable to me. Like, I just didn't know how to do it. I did not know how to do it without causing chaos or, trauma for everybody, which it ends up doing anyway. But when you're in that moment, when you're having that affair, in my, situation, I never wanted to hurt anybody. I wanted, like you said, it's the opposite. You don't want anyone to find out. You don't want anyone to be hurt.
It's like there's a part of you that's trying to find something that you need.
Yeah.
And it finds what you need. in a place that we're not allowed to go.
Yeah.
But
You know it's the right place. You need to go there because that's what your son
it's like,
needs.
except at the same time.
Trying to stay.
So it's like there's two truths happening at the same time.
Yeah, two different, completely different lives.
At the same time.
And that's exhausting too.
Wow. It would be exhausting because that your energy is living in two different spaces all the time.
Yeah.
And then our nervous systems aren't really designed for that long term.
No. No. And well, I do, yes, because there's so much guilt that comes with an affair. It's constant.
Yeah.
Constant guilt, because even if you're not near the person, with the person, you're just carrying constant guilt because that you're doing the wrong thing in terms of
the rules.
the earth rules. Yep, doing the wrong thing, and there's no letting up to it. Like, it's just constant.
Do you think there would have been anything that you could have said to your little earth girl self that was she's the one that is, like, you can feel her, like she's so scared to be alone that she is absolutely frozen to make choices that support you or the space. And so
Mel could have said to her,
it's like, what did she need? Because it's, again, that belief that
no, she was actually never alone.
Right?
Yeah.
She's not alone. And that, in fact, you've got her, and that she doesn't have to be good enough in someone else's eyes. She's already good enough for you.
Yeah. Which, funnily enough, is probably the lesson that I've learned afterwards.
100%, because now what happens is you go through the wrath of other people now having an opinion. Yeah. It's like we're doing things that people get to see. And when people get to see them, people get to talk about them.
Yeah.
And so then, as you were saying before, you lost so many people in your life that had been in your life. And so the irony of, you've probably never, at that beginning of that, never been more alone in your life than you had been during that time.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, your little soul's way of going, I've still got you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how this works. Yeah. It's the huge life bomb that just is catastrophic. And when we're in it, it's so hard to the pain and support ourselves. And I think in working with you in that space, we kept having to pull you back to you. It's like, but you get to support you. You're looking at how you are trying to deal with you through everyone else's eyes.
Yeah.
You're the worst person. You're a terrible mother. You're a terrible partner. You're a terrible friend. You're a terrible whatever, insert whatever you want here. And so when we do that, we only hold the self-destruction space.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And it's a really scary space to be in. It is really scary.
A self-destructive space, it is. It's catastrophic.
Yeah.
To be in there too long without, and no one's going to pull you out of here when you're in it, because you've now turned on you.
Yes.
So the only person that was left that was potentially going to get you out was you, and you're now going more than everyone else, and you're justifying it by backing up
whatever
the rules of what everyone else was saying.
Yeah.
And so that real shift in being able to, when we talk about it, to step out from the emotional layer of what everyone else thinks and to come back to the soul space of going, why would that be part of my experience?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of what we do. I talk a lot about when we visit the earth table and we would watch your story from the earth perspective, like a little movie. We'd all be throwing things at you, having an opinion, telling you this is not how you do the rules. You can't upset people. Like, you don't get any space in that.
Yeah.
But if we visited the soul table and we listened to the writers that were writing the movie of your life, and they said, we really have to get, your sole goal is to actually make sure that no matter what happens, you've got you, that you can hold your head up and love yourself going through this experience of life without losing that ability, like to actually make that 100% true, not true when life goes well, or true when one of the kids does something good, or true when we get a great payout or we get a good job, but to the depths of despair, true when everything else falls apart around you.
Yeah. And I'm still learning to do that. That we are still learning to do.
Because it's both tables that we've got.
Yeah.
But if I was going to write there, what do I think should happen to make this happen? That would be in my stories. I'd be like, oh, God, let them have an affair.
Yeah.
And when we look at some of the experiences that people have in life, that we do get to vary on our kind of, am I allowed to say, higher horse and have opinions on, we don't come back to what their stories are. We come back to what the rules are of what you want to do so you can be liked and fit into society. And so it's being able to, as we say, as my beautiful favorite statement is, when we live on that ladder and we judge each other, we don't ever help each other.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we destroy ourselves because of that ladder.
Yeah.
And if we can get to a point where we turn the hierarchical ladder of success, the ladder sideways, it's just your square of how you experience life.
Yeah. Yep.
And so when we bring in the, hey, when I was sexually abused as a kid and I didn't feel, I thought I was feeling seen and important and safe, and it was so betrayed from me. And so then I had to be invisible to the world, but then I was still getting attention. I don't want to be invisible. And so then someone comes along, Darwin comes along, you get married. You're like, that's my safest place. But it's like I married grandpa energy. And I mean that nicely, but it's so safe. You're not growing because it's grandpa energy. There's no movement or growth or self-awareness.
Yeah.
So then we have kids, and our ability to feel loved and feel connected to them is non-existent because you didn't have that connection first.
Yeah.
And so it's a battle when instead of us being supported to work in that space, like we should be supporting our beautiful mums, we again judge ourselves. Hey, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
So society then puts us back into the something is wrong with you. You need medication to make you better. Not, wow, how do you just get here? What do we need to really support that space? Because nurturing and being nurtured is a thing for you.
Yeah.
And so fast forward into numb and in grandpa energy and not knowing what to do with myself, and someone comes along that sees you, that allows you to be you, and you go back going, I wasn't even allowed to be me at 1 or 2 or when I was little with my dad or with my mum. I wasn't allowed to be me. I had to be everyone else's version. I had to be the good girl or the people pleaser or invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone sees you, it's actually like a drug.
Yeah.
And that's why our soul chases it. And you hate yourself while you're chasing it, but you can't stop it because it's what the feeling is that you needed all along. And it's like, I'm not alone. If someone sees genuinely me, I can be me and, oh my God, be celebrated. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, I think like we've done so much work when I've been married that I've learnt so many things and I've changed so much and realised without realising that I needed, because it just happens. Like I didn't realise really that I needed something different. Like I did, but I didn't. Like
well, we seem to just, because we've also come from that trauma base and that freeze, and there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn.
Yeah.
And so fawning is that people pleasing, freezing is like, oh, this is just how my life is going to be. I'm not really unhappy. It's, and so this is when sometimes I think our souls introduce a side show of something that comes in that just, it's like a life bomb. It just pulls out part of life in so many ways.
Yeah. You don't realise that there's something more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't realise it till it's there in your space.
Well, yeah. And it's being able to sit there and go, I'm not apologizing for, apart from the truth is I never wanted to hurt anyone. I'm also not apologizing for the experiences that life has taken me through.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it because I recognize myself so much better.
Yeah.
I just feel I suppose, whole,
Mm.
more whole than,
Yeah.
and not,
Authentic.
yeah,
Connected to yourself.
yeah. And I know
Yeah.
where, I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I'm on the right path. Like, we're all on the path that we're meant to be on. But I just feel like, even though I've lost people and all the judgment and all the negativity and all that, I wouldn't change it. Not that I'd do it again, but
I
to
get what you're saying.
learn the
Yeah.
lesson, and to realize that there is more, and you need to listen to yourself. Like, if I had listened to myself, if I had actually
Known how.
known how to listen to myself, I wouldn't have got married in the first place. I wouldn't have married him in the first place.
Yeah.
I would have probably worked on myself a bit more
Yeah.
and then been in a place. But that's not how life works.
No.
You know, it's not. You get married, you have kids.
And this is when we learn who we are within that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and this is why our relationships change so much in that space, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's allowing ourselves to see where life is going to take us without trying to control it at times in a way that we just get to judge ourselves.
Yes. But like if my story empowers somebody, whether it's a, male or female, it doesn't matter, to recognize that if they need more, if they need something, you've got to allow yourself in some way, shape or form to follow that. You need, otherwise, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to meet you somehow.
It will meet you. And
It's going to meet you somehow.
yeah, maybe not this lifetime, but the next lifetime.
Well, I think particularly now in these lifetimes, this is why we do have life bombs and things like that, because we're meant to listen to ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we try and go through life and not listen to ourselves, life is going to make us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, even after my big life bomb with my marriage, I got bowel cancer.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah. So that was kind of like, well, what do I do now?
And I think from the working through that as well, because that's such a difficult space to be in, because you've got people that are mad at you. And now that you've got a diagnosis of cancer that was pretty serious diagnosis, you're in a double bind situation, you know. And so it's being able to, for you again, to go, wow, I have to have me in this.
Yeah.
I have to come back and know how I got to support me, take care of me, look after me, be important to me, not apologize for me in so many ways. And for me, we can look at that, people can look at that in a really negative, awful way.
Yeah, okay. You deserve this.
Yeah. And
absolutely. And what I'm sure.
Yeah, there will be
would have been people that.
And it's like, but life is not about being.
That's the ladder, isn't it?
It's a ladder. It's like, it's the whole ladder. And that's when we're disconnected from the truth of that we're just beautiful souls that is trying to love ourselves through our experiences and our journey on earth. And if that our soul is still trying to work on how we're going to find a way to do that, if that part of our story isn't a fair, it's because it matches into what we're learning.
Yeah.
And so it's learning to be able to soften how we treat ourselves, to unpack it in a way that we can make it make sense.
Yeah. Well, bowel is guilt.
Yes, grief and guilt.
Grief and guilt. So if you think about all the guilt that growing up and all the grieving that are probably done over the years, no wonder not the life bomb.
Well, it's massive, isn't it, when you look at it? And I think, that was probably a beautiful session that we worked through to be able to understand that this is actually coming from you releasing, feeling guilty and feeling bad about yourself for you to move forward into the new life that you're creating for yourself, rather than, as people would say, this is coming up because you deserve it. And even utter those words, but it's for us, it's always coming back to frame it from your soul's perspective and why it would happen and what you're learning in a way that it makes sense, not in a way that life doesn't make sense. Life isn't going to be awful to you. Yeah. And when we find the worst things that happen, we can work them into a way that we can understand them, particularly from a soul perspective. It doesn't mean we have to like them.
No.
And there's lots that we won't. But even the beauty of having cancer in that way is you had to stop quickly hating yourself.
Yeah, I did. I had to look after myself.
Absolutely.
I had to focus on me.
Yep. And then really detach from, it's like, what guilt can't come with me in the next part of my story, because it's going to keep me in the same patterns of doing what I do. It's going to keep me in people pleasing. It's going to keep me in abandoning myself and not looking after me. It's going to keep me not being seen, not wanting to be seen, not being allowed to be important. So all the things that we pulled through from your childhood met you in that moment for you to have to release, to go, I'm not moving forward with this. I'm actually not taking this with me in my body even.
Yeah.
And surgery takes out.
Yeah. Well, I had to rest. I had to nourish my body with good food.
Listen to how you felt.
I did. Like, if I was tired, I had to sleep or rest, you know, like if I couldn't go to work, I couldn't go to work and not feel bad about that.
Yeah.
But also let people who wanted to help me. Yeah. Because I need to be helped. Yeah, that's right. Whereas I'm never really been one to ask for help. You know.
Which is that alone.
Yeah.
And then when we feel alone, we don't know how to feel connected.
Yeah.
So when, of course, someone came along and goes, I'm going to help you feel connected, you're like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing that pulls me, because I don't know how to not want that. That's what my soul wants. So we get pulled in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting.
It's amazing. Like all our stories are amazing. Thanks so much for letting us. I mean, I'm not cutting you off, but thank you for letting us unpack that. I think it's really brave of you, because we still live in a world that lives on a ladder. And by doing this podcast, I really hope it helps people move to a different way of going, I'm going to keep my ladder sideways, because all of us have life experiences. All of us have things that we do that we don't like, that if we stay in that space, we're never going to get to know ourselves better. And so it's to soften, to go, curious. I wonder why that was part of my story. I wonder why I chose that. I wonder why I went down that path or made that decision. And I see a lot of people that make bad decisions in their, what they say is a bad decision, again, in their life, that leads to catastrophic events of relationships breaking up, or all kinds of things, illness, small kind of events, accidents, all of it.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is being able to reframe it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I want people to get as a takeaway from this. It's like, step out of that judgment space and step into there's a reason why people do what they do. And it's pretty complicated a lot of the time. And it's not coming from a malicious place. But the more we learn about other people's stories, the more we're going to learn about ourselves.
Yeah.
And the more we're going to be able to hold compassion.
Yeah, hold space for people, regardless of what they do or who they are.
And it's, not only being able to love ourselves, it's to love each other.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard journey.
It's hard enough.
It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
And to have someone love you while you hate yourself is a really beautiful way to be able to come back to being able to find the space to love yourself. And I think that's such a beautiful part of doing this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is there anything else that you want? I was going to say, I think probably that one of the hardest things might be watching the people that you love, so you so desperately want people to see, reframe it and see all the perspectives, particularly the ones we love the most.
Yeah.
And again, the ones we love the most will see it from their perspective, because that's how we do life. It is just from our perspective until we can kind of big picture it and soften it in ways.
Yeah.
And I think, again, interestingly, it's really hard to love yourself up. People don't love you.
Yeah.
And that's there will be an ongoing journey.
Yeah. 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 Like my kids sort of don't want anything to do with the person I had the affair with. So that's really hard, because
Your life is divided again.
Yeah.
It's the patterns that we see.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably the hardest challenge for me at the moment, is navigating the two different.
Well, it's the person that makes you feel the most, that helps you stay strong in being the most authentic version of you.
Yeah.
You have to like not be in that space with, oh, you're trying to be connected to other people.
Yeah.
So we're doing connections with rules. And this is what we do on earth.
Yeah.
Because we bring the rules. But you can't. So this is why.
Yeah.
I'm reacting to the rules.
That's right.
And it is hard to move them when you're hurt by stuff or when your life's been blown up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like I certainly, I understand why people react the way that they do. And I don't hold any grudges, or I'm not angry at anybody at all. I'm actually comfortable with the way everybody has reacted, in that the door will never, like, I'll never shut the door on anybody if they ever want to come back into my life, our lives. But I won't, I suppose, take on.
Well, you're not going to walk in the door and let yourself be judged.
No.
Yeah. Like if you're going to hold the judgment space for me, I'm going to step out.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be judged, because I'm not going to judge me.
Yeah. So at the moment, they're all in a judgment place. And that's okay. They can, if that's where they need to be right now, that's where they need to be. But I will never close the door, and I will never give up hope that, that in some way, shape or form, that we will all be one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Because, I don't want to give up.
I think there's such a beauty in holding our hope in the highest potential.
Yeah.
Because it just brings us.
Well, if you don't have hope.
Oh, this is it. If you don't have hope, this is the depths of despair. If we, as we know,
Sure.
yeah, if we don't have hope, we can't get up. We can't support ourselves through life, and we're going to wait for someone to save us. And then, as we were saying before, when no one comes to save us, it has to be us.
Yeah.
And if we're abusing ourselves, it's not going to be us, and then we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So it's being able to shift that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's good to be an observer of your life with curiosity and compassion, because we learn a lot about ourselves when we do it that way.
Well, that looking back, you see, okay, yeah, okay, that's what that means. That's why that happened. And it's like those aha moments.
Yeah, flags moment. Yeah, and then this is the thing too. We're so disconnected from our feelings that we can't connect into why we would do something. You're like, that was a feeling that I got. Oh, that was me chasing that, or that was me feeling abandoned, or that was me feeling judged. Like, why wouldn't I have gone there? It's like, well, I felt totally different, disconnected. And so we judge ourselves without tuning into why we do the things we do.
Yeah.
And so if nothing else, this is also to help people go, but there's threads that we're missing, and becoming emotionally aware of ourselves and our stories, which is why we unpack them together in here, because it gives people an insight maybe to not judge this story, but to look at their own story and go, hey, what are my emotional threads? Where can I pull them from? Why did I pick the partner that I have? How did I feel being a mum? Like, or a dad, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so they're just little insights into ourselves that help us learn ourselves better.
And maybe have a little bit of compassion for someone who you might know who's had an affair.
Yeah. Or made a choice that you didn't agree with.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an affair. It can be anything.
Yeah. Terminations are big things.
Yeah.
You know, there's big things.
Yeah.
You know, terminations when you're 17 weeks pregnant and you get a diagnosis that you make that choice.
Yeah.
And so these are the big rules that people have that, oh, no, but you're not allowed. These are the things worth exploring, because we have to bring that awareness back for people.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't judge.
No. Well, yeah. That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? Don't judge people.
Your ladder's sideways.
Yeah.
That's what I say. My ladder's
sideways. Don't judge yourself. Like,
Well, this is why if
Yeah.
you have the ladder, you're going to do both.
yes, of course, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Whereas I look at my square and go, oh, wow, that's interesting. Why did I do that?
Yeah,
But if I judge myself, I'm more likely to continue a pattern I don't like or a negative behavior.
yeah,
Whereas if I'm curious, I'm like, well, that's interesting. What do I need?
yeah,
What did I need in that moment? I was like, I needed to tap out. I needed to rest. I needed to walk away. I needed to say how I felt. I needed to, whatever it is.
yeah,
The more we know ourselves, the more we can support ourselves.
yeah. 100%.
100%. Thank you so much for coming on Life Unpacked.
Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. I love you. I
love you.
am honoured that you shared your story with us in a beautiful, safe place, and we will keep you in a beautiful, safe place. A beautiful message to the world.
Well, I think honestly, the work that you do, whether it's in the safety of this room or if it's in a book or in one of your workshops, I just think the work that you do needs to just be out there.
Yeah.
People need to, you can change the world, my darling.
I am absolutely, really would love that too. I'm all about that. If anyone else can love themselves that little bit more, that is
Yeah.
the magic wand that I want to spread around the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's what I want to
Yeah.
do. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.
Can I give you a big fat hug now?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life Unpacked with Mel Ryan. If someone in your life is going through their own life bomb, please share this episode with them. These stories may be exactly what they need to hear. Remember to follow or subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you feel called to unpack your own story with me, you're always welcome to reach out through my website or social media. Thank you for being part of this space. Be kind to yourself, be curious, and remember the answers you've been looking for have always been inside you. I'll see you at the next episode.